meant to be then.
I'm just amazed because you always used to see a Cosmo in like your horoscope in Cosmo and and now to see it in a weed magazine.
Yeah. It would be. I thought there would be a bit more herby scope, like it says here.
Yeah, like dang fortune cookies. It must be weed relevant.
There you go.
You have a green and greenery in your horizon.
Welcome to the HotBox podcast. Tonight you'll be speaking dank with myself, Buzz, Robyn, Amy, and Dan. Welcome, folks.
Hi.
Is everyone lit already, or we like? I don't see
almost
enough.
there. Almost there.
So Dan, what have we got on the table here today for dabs, man? I see we've got some interesting dabs in the house.
I think there's some Skywalker, a nice slabbage of Skywalker. You can see some. There it is. Yes, that one there.
Last caramel.
Donated. Very nice. Thank you to the donator. And then we got some. You know this. What is this?
It's lemon cheesecake.
Lemon cheesecake.
It's Deadly. It's from one of their sweets. And I think it was a light extract done on this thing. So BHO vibes, but yeah, it came out crumbly and quickly.
Yeah. It looks like a dessert. So I could put it over my ice cream. Over my breakfast in the morning.
Yeah, it looks like crumble from a pie base. Are you guys going to try any of this, eh? Yes. Or is it all just going to go to waste here slowly?
I'll try it through the course of the show.
So guys, first story of the week. I don't know, I didn't see any of you there. The Cape Town and Joburg Cannabis marches happened on Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately didn't make that one.
Yeah, also, no, was there in spirit.
Terrible service.
But you made it, so why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, I'm tired of talking, mate. So the deal is, I went to the Joburg march. Cape Town had its own thing. This was the first year of the Joburg march, and they did it in Mary Fitzgerald, which is basically town, not far from Nelson Mandela Bay Bridge. And I thought, maybe there'll be
Mandela
about...
Bay.
Oh, not Mandela Bay. Nelson Mandela
Nelson
Bay.
Mandela.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I've been smoking for everyone already. But we rocked up there, and I thought it'd be maybe like 50 people. But in the end, it turned out to be about 200 people. And it was very much Bongalong and Trichoma representing. I think Bongalong from Cape Town, Trichoma from Pretoria. So they were the main guys behind it by the looks of it. But it was very well organized. We probably, I don't know, Jules opened the march like 5 kilometers.
Yeah, 5Ks, 120 people.
Yeah, so we
we
took a lap.
They marched the whole way, the whole 5 kilometers.
Yeah, but not like march, like march, but it was
Duck
like
walk.
I'll see some pictures up on the.
They walked over the bridge.
Yeah, but it was a great vibe, especially that moment over the bridge. It's kind of like our Table Mountain because it really represents the city and that vibe. But there were gang people. There were no hostile vibes. I think there were almost more cops than people at one point, though.
Oh, wow.
But even so, no one got bust.
Do you reckon it was like a good representation of our cannabis culture in Joburg?
No.
There wasn't enough people there.
You go, not that. Also, you go to a D-Day and it's very diverse. You look at these pictures here, and let's be honest, it looks like a Mari biscuit. It's very white. So I don't think it was a good representation of our culture. But I also think, when you look at ways events are marketed and that, it's very 1%.
If it didn't get to the Rastafarian community, they would never have known, really. I mean, unless it's passed on by one person.
But then again, if you look at the Cape Town thing, I think because the Cape Town thing's so well established, it almost needs no marketing, and that was super diverse.
Well, this is the first one. So for the first one, how was it?
How many have been in Cape Town?
So Cape Town, there's a checkered past. I think the most Cape Town's ever seen is somewhere between 5 and 10,000. Some people say, no, it was 20,000 last year. That's bullshit. I was there. It was like 5,000 people.
No way, it wasn't that many.
It was a couple of schools worth of people. This year, though, for the Cape Town march, it wasn't really a march. They pretty much got confined off in front of Parliament. And from the pictures I've seen, it looks like 1,000, maybe 2,000 people. You guys, if you were there, you tell us, how many people do you think were at the Joburg or Cape Town march? But I don't think it was more than like 2,000 people in Cape Town, eh?
Was it nowhere near last year's size?
No way. And you say you were at last year's?
Yeah, I was at last year's.
What was it like?
I had a great time. I was on my own in the crowd though, but I had a great time. The vibe was amazing. Got to hang out with the Rastafari community a lot, which was great for me because in Joburg we don't really get exposed to it that much. But in Cape Town, I really, really enjoyed it. I was completely blown away. It was my first ever kind of cannabis protest and march. And it was great fun. That's why I think this year, or next year at least, I think it's going to pick up in Joburg. But also I think, like you said, the marketing. Like I wasn't even aware of it that much, only
in
like
advance.
right just before it. Then I was like, oh shit, it's a march.
I just saw it probably that same week.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's definitely something that could be improved.
Yeah, I also saw, I'm not going to pick at this scab here, but I did see a lot of people say in Cape Town, they were very disappointed because it wasn't really a march. They were in the space and they were kind of preaching to themselves. Whereas when we went to the march, we actually marched through the city. We marched on Long Street.
It was so cool. There was a vibe and the music and the chanting. It was a proper like march. So.
Yeah, a lot of spirit, eh?
They must keep momentum.
Yeah, it must keep momentum. Also, like I wonder, when the weed is free, will there still be a need to march? Would you still march? Like I know we must have D-Day and 420 because that's Mary Jane's birthday, but would we still march? I don't know. Would you?
Well, I mean, there's a gay pride march. They march just to celebrate the fact that they...
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
They have their own culture and everything, so why can't we? There's no reason to stop. It's like it's taking a festival and making it a mobile festival. It's either or. A march will just get more people to see it and more exposure, I'd say.
Yeah, and I guess you also take the message to the people a bit there.
Yeah, that's the
Because
thing.
I think that's what Cape Town was missing, because they've had that experience. They've sort of loved, they've marched and lost. But hopefully it gets back to that, because fuck, Cape Town was awesome last year. Going down Long Street was such a trip, eh? And everyone was smoking joints and smoking fucking bottlenecks.
Massive chillin'.
I did my first bottleneck ever.
Yeah.
On a street corner, it was a lot of fun.
I hope your mom didn't hear that.
I think I might have told her about it actually. I was quite proud, I won't lie.
Did your mom do her first bottleneck shortly thereafter?
No, we're still working on that one.
Your mom needs to have a bucket.
Yeah.
That will flatter me. If your mom can handle a bucket, she must come on the show and show us how.
We could make a whole show and just get a bunch of moms.
Yeah,
That's a great idea. We would love to do that.
Teaching them different
Get
ways
some
to
grannies
smoke.
in the hot seat.
We keep thinking that would be a great idea. It keeps coming up. Like,
Who's willing to donate the granny?
Donate the
Grannies,
That's terrible, Alex. But yeah, the Joburg March was good. It was better than expected. I think we saw Bobby Greenash there. Like I said, we saw Bomalong, we saw Tricoma, we saw a lot of familiar faces. But also, I don't know, guys. Personally, when it comes down to it, I think once it's all said and done in the weedy street, I don't know if I'll march anymore. I'll party, but I don't know
No,
if
but maybe
I'll
there'll
march.
be other things to march about. Like maybe there'll be for, I don't know, minimum wages in the industry.
But you'll still go to the festival.
We'll find something else to, you know.
You always go to a D-Day 420 festival though. That's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, I think there'll always be a celebration, but the March thing, we'll see how it all plays out. Okay,
Wasn't there a march in Chile or somewhere now that was like 20,000 people that attended it?
Yeah, in Chile, the global thing,
Yeah.
this was all part of the global thing. The May March is a big deal. It goes on
20,000 people,
globally.
that is amazing. To see 20,000 people marching for one thing, that's really cool.
That is a lot of people.
That's a lot of power. You can feel that in the crowd, you know?
Yeah. Maybe they don't. Maybe we're too relaxed in South Africa because we're close as well. Because I think if we were really getting hammered by the cops about it, really hammered, maybe more people would march.
It would force the topic to those people that are kind of just at the moment.
Because maybe everyone thinks it's weed's legal already. Because I'm getting that. I saw some oak.
Yeah.
Wow. You got the big parcel of weed intercepted. Postnet, avoid. Red flag there, Oaks, be warned. Postnet is not your friend when it comes to sending weed and dabs. And also be woke, you know. Don't set it in a fucking Checkers or something with the label on it. You know? See how my Checkers plant is doing. But definitely avoid Postnet. But I don't know, maybe we're too casual about it now. Maybe we're not infuriated enough.
I think South Africans are really laid back as like a general.
The kind of idea is, I think it's just a matter of time. So we will just there's no big reason to get so crazy and riled up about it because it's just a matter of time. I think that is the general perception, is that if it's not already, it's going to be
almost
soon.
I think a lot of people do think it is legal, or like even just people I speak to and friends even in that, and that everyone does think it's legal.
Talking to you.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that is just the general impression for a lot of the country.
And I think also in that mindset of all of us, we're like the choir, weed's legal in our home. You know, you come in, your friends, there's the good jar. If you're shit friends, there's the shit jar.
I never thought of that ever.
What haven't you done that to
Never
friends?
thought of that. That's
Haven't
a
you
great
ever got
plan.
good weed for good friends and cup weed for cup friends?
Amy's a good friend, so
Okay.
she only knows the good weed, yeah.
I just don't think that far ahead. I don't think.
Not yet. One day is one day. Guys, this is a bit of a sad story. So there was a tweet that went out. I saw the story trending everywhere though. But the tweet summed it up nicely. It's from this dude called Randy Balco, whoever the fuck that is. And he tunes, weird fact of the day, the sheriff at the center of that, if they legalize pot, will have to kill all the drug dog story, is the eldest son of Warren Buffett. His personal foundation has donated over $2 million for drug dog units across Illinois. So basically the story was going around, and they say not you mustn't legalize weed because cops are going to lose jobs because there's going to be less people to arrest. They're saying the dogs are now, the sniffer dogs are also going to lose their jobs, and the cops are going to have to pull out their Glocks
and shoot the dog.
Well, not themselves, but they say they're going to have to put down these fucking dogs because now they've got no point in life.
But they could be retrained to smell for other things.
But they do smell.
They're not completely untrainable.
I mean, they, you know.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's not the.
And that's coming from the guy that put the money in to train them.
Pretty much.
Or the son of him.
Yeah, gave them the dogs.
They put them in that position.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a big hoo-ha when it happens, when it comes to it. You'll see people chaining themselves to the doors and to the flipping.
But do you think people are going to see stoners as the bad guys? They're going to say, why'd you make us? You made us put down the dogs. Because that's what this oak's saying. You making us. It's like the guy who comes home and has a cut day and hits his wife and says, why'd you make me hit you? Are they saying we're going to put down the dog too after we've hit the wife? And it's your fault.
No, I don't think people like.
You can't. I don't know if I'd fall for that. Like I think okay, people probably would, but sure.
I think it's ridiculous enough that people wouldn't need to get riled up about it again. It's like, but well, actually, that being said, I don't know, some crazy things happening in the world. But
maybe Trump's stance on this whole his change that we heard that he's now.
You've been selling it, dude.
That he's gonna change his views on cannabis and marijuana in America. Maybe that'll divert it, intercept, and be like, no, you can't keep those dogs. Those dogs are like the heroes.
Yeah, but also it's like it's really fucked up. You're telling me honestly, deep down inside, these policemen are going to put down these dogs because of this.
They will. Americans will.
Really going to
Americans
put down
will.
These dogs?
No, but your dog's
I
as a
agree.
trait, but as a policeman, like my dad was a policeman, and he was in the dog units, and those dogs are like your children, like they're everything. I don't think that they would even. No ways. No one's that heartless.
No, I mean, yeah, even this Mr. Martin Latham says no canine officer would do anything like that. You wouldn't. If you're the train, if that's your dog and that's what you've been living with, you would never, ever allow that to happen. You say, you know what? I adopt a dog and I'll go and do something else and live somewhere else because they would. That's dog's your man's best friend.
They're probably going to start a SWAT team of just putting down dogs because you know
hunting the dogs down. We come in, dead. Oh, cool.
But you make light of that. Isn't that what happens? The first thing the feds do when they kick down your door on a drug possession warrant is if your dog, fucking Yorkie, fucking fat Jack Russell,
barks at them, it's a threat.
Doesn't even bark, he's just there. The first thing he gets is AR-15 to the face. And you just hear dogs chunking and kids crying.
It's terrible. They don't get, they're heartless with animals. But
isn't that part of the whole tactic? I guess it's.
No, maybe those cops are going to have to go shoot their own dogs.
No. Really?
No, but isn't that the drill now? Now you've got so much practice shooting other people's dogs, maybe it's calmer. Maybe you've got to shoot your own fucking dog now.
Or they're zombied by the system in America and they will do it. Maybe they will.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Fuck
you suck, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, let's see the next article that says, there's the tombstones of the dogs that were sniffing
like that?
cannabis.
I don't know if you watch a lot of South Park, but whenever there's like the situation where people lose their jobs, the rednecks go, they took our jobs. And they took our dogs. Yeah, no, fuck them. You can't put that on us, feds. Really, you can't put that on us. Please don't. And please don't shoot your dogs. We'll even fucking adopt them. We know a hippie.
Send them over this side. Yeah.
Yeah, man. They can sniff my weed and rate it.
Yeah. What website was that from?
Yeah,
I was going to say, maybe it's fake news.
No, I think it was a tweet that I read up, but I saw it all over. I saw it on Facebook, and it was really going around.
I just think there's a lot of sensationalism around, and like I literally don't read pretty much a lot of those things. I just for that exact reason, because I just the concept of even why is there an article going around that gets so much attention about that kind of thing?
Yeah. Anyone at home, if you counted Dan's coughs, if you could please just tell us how many coughs you got there, because that's becoming part of our 5-star rating system. If you get 5 coughs, it's 5 stars for the Dan. Or is that how you want it? Cough or no cough? Eh?
No cough.
No
you
cough.
You don't want cough. We should have the cough counter. We've been talking about this. But our team is stuck in the cloud in the back corner there. We smoked them out.
So,
Yeah, we're working on the logo still, so and the jingle.
You're working on everything, guys. In progress at the bottom, loading. We need one of those circles. All the things loading. So, next story of the week. This was reported in the Independent in the UK, and it's titled "Skunk Smell from Marijuana Crops Driving Californians to Distraction." And it's got a quote here: "We don't want marijuana smell. We want fresh air."
Yeah, you can imagine those plants get really, really, really smelly.
Yeah, they
Towards
do.
the end of flowering, they are potent. In the morning, in the afternoon, it can be, you can
But
notice
it's
it.
such a lovely
Yeah,
smell.
fruity.
Well, to us,
So
we
yeah,
love
I
the
mean,
smell,
yeah.
but other people think it stinks.
It's
I mean,
like
they
morning
actually hate it.
jasmine.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. You can get like when I was a kid, I went on this holiday and we went to a lavender farm. And spending like nearly a week on a lavender farm makes you not want that smell in your life ever again. So I think you can overdo it on those vibes, and you can possibly get tired of the smell.
But
Do you think it's an
but is
offensive
it
smell? It
that
smells
bad?
nice, but like if it's that fucking dank fire and they're saying you're skunk and shit, maybe it is just too dank.
But there's those plants at the coast that smell like that. And they,
Oh yeah, I know which one.
you
you're
know,
talking about.
because you drive
Exactly.
around and you're like, you smell out the window, you're like, ooh, is someone just growing some really good
I
stuff?
wonder what
or-
that is.
Yeah, I wonder, but there's
I've
an
also
actual,
wondered what that plant is.
I don't know what it's called. If anyone knows.
Say it louder. Talk louder.
Plectranthus.
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 What's the pleb name?
Doggone.
Yeah.
Doggone.
Flower.
Spur flower.
Because that smells like dank. That smells like indoor.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Because every time I walk past one of those, I automatically look
Now
up
we
for
know.
the fan.
Get us a photo of it. Can we get a photo of that?
So what was
Maybe
that?
What?
No, maybe next
We'll
time.
have
I
to
think
go
I've got some in the garden.
Back
Yeah.
and watch.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. But now, like so the deal is, so some oak was like all 702 vibes about this, complaining some geezer, and he tunes. The smell is so strong that his wife wakes up coughing in the night.
No.
Like there's terpenes congesting on her tonsils or something. Like there's this weed dew in the air. Like
But that's
the smog.
exactly it. That's exactly what it is. It's terpenes. It's essential oils that are in the air, that are saturated in the air, that they're inhaling. And it can actually affect some people.
Well, but even like you said, the
Definitely
lavender
can.
farm, I mean, the same thing. It's all those, they make essential oils from it. So it's.
Well, lavender is
Yes.
deadly. At the right concentration, it can kill a human. So
I think
that can
anything
affect-
can kill a human.
yeah,
at
no,
the right
no, it can.
concentration.
Any essential oil is literally 1 or 2 drops on
Yeah.
some people's skin can literally send them into an anaphylactic shock or whatever it is.
Well, most of them you have to dilute anyway.
Big time, yeah.
Because otherwise you will get a rash or
Yes.
it'll burn
Yeah.
for a long
Well,
time.
I don't know. I mean, I think maybe people should just move out of that area, and then the people that like the smell move in, and then create. There's no problem. Move the fuck out of here. Move.
No, I don't see oaks complaining about living next door to the KFC or the Spur.
Yeah.
You can smell that shit
Or the
from
tire
Spain.
factory, or the this, and they don't
You'll
complain.
Oh.
But you know, Americans, they've got the right to complain for anything. They can, and they'll sue you if you
And it's
don't
not
change
saying
it.
it's like
They
bad
love it.
because they live there in California. It's all summer vibes and breezy, and now he has to shut all his windows and he's putting wet towels at the bottom of doors and stuffing
Try and
the
block
keyhole
it.
with toilet paper.
I guess it could become a bit oppressive after a while when you just want clean air. Like they said.
Oh, do you think you could get tired of the smell of dank though, personally?
No. Well,
I
I
don't-
don't. Fruity, I think it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think it would be that in that concentration because there's
Or
also
decent.
wind and there's different
5 coughs.
seasons and different weather.
Nelia is counting. 5 coughs.
So you say you wouldn't get tired of the smell, huh?
No, I think it wouldn't be that
Yeah.
oppressive all the time. I think every day, like I said, there's wind, there's rain, there's sunshine. It's,
People are saying, grow plants
and
with
it's
it.
also
So
for a limited period.
it's a good idea if you're growing outdoor crops to grow a lot of basil around it, or a
Odor
lot of
breakers.
anything that has a lot of scent, or whatever, something that's a lot of scent. Roses, morning glory. What's it? That jasmine.
Jasmine.
What else could you do?
And then people are going to complain that the place is smelling like your granny's flat full of potpourri.
Oh,
Man.
folk.
Got to have all that stuff around. Because
Jeez.
I could get tired of the smell, I think. Like, I think the challenge is we stick this gas mask bong on one of our faces and we screw a jar on the bottom, and we see
And
how
that's
long
what
you
you
can
use,
stand
breathe
that
in.
intense.
No, but you would get sick of just the flipping mask on your face. Let's face it, if you got some weed in your house
We'll make a
and
whole
you
weed.
walk into the house, you smell like, that smells so great. Your grandmother says, she's like, what the hell is that smell? What? It stinks.
Yeah, surely you
And
become
my old
accustomed
neighbours.
Of
to
course,
it.
exactly. If you like it, you're gonna like it. If it's some shitty ass jut that's burning in the house, it smells like
No,
burnt
that's
grass,
really good
then
though.
yes, you'll be like, what the hell?
Smells like
It's better than like what Yellowman says. He was living next to SAB Miller, so he had this constant smell of fermenting yeast. That would drive me mad.
Yeah,
Or if you ever lived by
don't
a
fucking
paper
do
mill,
that.
eh?
Yes,
The
down the
paper
south
mill.
coast there was a
Ooh.
paper mill there that every single day there was the smell in the air that
The
was just
sugar cane is
all the
honestly,
time,
The sugar cane,
yeah.
the
that.
factories
But that
there.
smells like
Ooh.
toffee in the morning when they burn it. It becomes
Yeah,
like
but
toffee.
the
It smells
sugar
like
factory in McDonald and that, it's
Mm.
dangs, that little town. That's
So you think these people are in the? It's fair for them to complain. I feel like it's fair for them to complain about the smell. You know, like if someone opened
Yeah.
a chicken shit farm or something.
yeah. I
like
guess
next
yes,
to
you're
it.
right. Yeah, because if there was a chicken farm down the road and it was disturbing your everyday's life, you would
Yeah.
get them shut down.
Yeah. But maybe everyone's missing a trick here. Maybe the trick is to capture that smell on its way out.
Somehow.
Well,
Yeah,
they'll
and
eventually
people
they'll do
want
that.
that. People
Eventually they'll
want
do
that,
that. They'll
dude.
create a law that says you have to filter the air going out, and there cannot be this, and they'd have to spend that much more money on the system, which makes the price of the weed go.
And then you're kind of forcing them to grow under a roof and not be able to.
Well, if
grow
it's outdoor, there's
outdoors.
no way you can change it. There's no way you can change that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
But if you
So
got
then
if you
you
got
have to
licensing to
force
do it, then you should be
people-
able to carry on with what you're doing. you
Because
know?
maybe people pay for that smell. Maybe
do.
people want to smell like that early morning dank, dude. Because there is a certain smell in the early morning I've noticed with weed. Maybe you should notice it too. That like really early, it really gives off its best fragrance. Eh? The dog snoring. Can you hear the dog snoring? It's not me with the longest poop in the world.
The roadkill.
Hell, man.
But I guess certain plants do have a different smell that come off of it. So you get like different terpenes, different profiles, like your hazes and your Afghans
Because
and
people
your
do want that. I feel like if you could put it in a
Well,
bottle,
someone
if
wants,
you could
you
capture
know-
that smell in a bottle, I'd
Cologne.
fucking spritz myself
Cologne.
with it. Like I'd smoke cuck weed and then spritz my car with
Yeah,
it
like-
just before the cop busts me.
Cannabaca for men. You know what I mean? That's some good shit right there. I mean, yeah. Russ says his gran likes the smell of cheese in his pocket.
Yeah, when she knows, eh? Let's see what other news we've got. Sorry guys, got so distracted there with the dog story now. So this was on the Dacha Parties page. I think you sent a link, Dan.
Mhm.
Apparently, so before we start, to explain what a stay of prosecution is. So there's the situation now with the Dacha couples court case and Jeremy Atkins court case and everyone's, where the High Court has said we're putting all these cases on hold until this constitutional verdict happens. Which means that if you get bust, or you alone get bust, in theory, this isn't a copy-paste thing, but in theory, you can take a number and join this queue of people who've got this stay of prosecutions, which puts it all on hold. So this has been going on a lot now. But what was interesting today is that there was a stay of prosecution for someone who had weed and mushrooms. Not just
I
weed,
saw that.
but
That
weed
is
and
big.
mushrooms.
Yes, I saw that. That's the first one, right?
Yeah, that's
In
the
the
first
country.
one.
Have
No,
you
I
ever
don't
heard
think
of?
anyone was expecting it. It just happened. The judge said in his thing pretty much, because
Same
of the
thing.
stay of the Dacha thing, we're going to put even this thing
Which is
under it with it, which was very left field.
it's good news.
Yes.
But that isn't that how change happens? It's eventually it starts seeping through to other parts. I think we've seen enough progress in relation to cannabis in the country for it to start making. I mean, it's a tiny step in the bigger scheme of things, but it is definitely a first step.
Because this has been like a theory that, I've said it a few times, that weed isn't necessarily a gateway drug to taking other drugs,
No.
but it may be a gateway drug to further drug reform. and maybe that first one that says, now that we've said, okay, let's legalize or decriminalize this substance, should we be considering other substances?
Oh, you mean by this happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just changing our perception.
That could,
of them.
it could.
Because it's literally happening. They said weed and this is like that scene for you Oaks who see like Super Troopers, weed and shrooms. They fucking said stay of prosecution for shrooms now.
That's very interesting.
So it's
I wonder how many more
happening.
people are going to try it now. Do you think anyone else would literally try that?
We'll have to see, because I know that's Jeremy Acton's vibe. He loves weed and shrooms. That's shrooms is his next big conquest to legalize.
I think, I don't know if, I think people take shrooms, but I think that they probably don't get bothered enough. I mean, I don't know how many people get arrested.
I've not heard much of.
I'm sure anyone that gets arrested that's going to spend time or get a record would definitely
Generally,
look
I
at the
think
possibility of getting it to stop, no matter what. Otherwise, you're just stupid and lazy.
Yeah.
Really.
But I think most people probably getting arrested for shrooms were probably also getting arrested for weed at the same time or other, not other stuff, but maybe so it always maybe came through as cannabis charges and the shrooms were just like, no, they're different. Are they scheduled differently?
No, they've both got fucked up scheduling.
I don't know what exact schedule, but they are fucking right up there.
Strictly illegal.
Yeah.
Strictly illegal, yes, we know.
but like, maybe you've got a point there. Maybe it's one of those cause and causation things. The likelihood of being bust with shrooms and weed is far less than just shrooms. Because usually if you've got shrooms, you've probably got weed. Because I don't know who could take shrooms who doesn't smoke
like
weed. I've never met
That's
a guy
exactly it.
or a chick.
I don't know.
It's
Well,
not, that's what I'm saying.
Anyone else
Just
that it happens to,
smoked
let
a
us
lot of
know.
plants
Or we'll definitely see it.
unfortunate.
And this happened down in where? PE. Where did it say it happened? PE, yeah.
Yeah, it was out of nowhere.
In the Windy City.
But now we're going to have to do a fucking podcast about shrooms now and take shrooms and see how far we make it, folks.
I'm in.
When do we get to eat them?
But do you think there's a line then about how far drug reform should go? So it's cool and all they're saying shrooms, and we're like, lekker, shrooms is cool. But when they get to things like crack and tick and heroin, maybe in a month's time we see someone gets a stay of prosecution for weed and heroin.
But crack and tick and heroin don't grow on trees and naturally in the ground.
But they do. They all
No,
grow.
heroin from the poppy.
Yeah, but not without
Some sort of
processing and
But isn't that processed?
Okay,
Well, that's just
yes,
making
we've,
the most
I
of a
guess,
good
evolved,
situation.
I suppose, if you want to get into semantics. But smoking a bud from a plant that's like been on the plant, it's dried, it's fallen off, that would be the most natural way of smoking it. It's or picking some shrooms from the ground and eating them.
Making an Alfredo. I don't know.
You stop pleading that terrible meme that I hate. That is it goes something along the lines of like anything made by man I don't trust. Anything made by God. One.
No, I don't know if God comes into that one.
But you know what I mean? But it's like saying don't panic, it's organic.
It is. And it's a little bit.
But you have to use, to process something into a heroin or cocaine, or it's like not just the plant matter. You need other stuff in order to extract certain plants
like
of
cleaning chemicals,
that.
but all sorts of things.
So,
But maybe we should look at it differently, like Bradley's saying here. Drug addiction is a health issue, not a criminal one issue.
Yeah, but I think we all
Because if like in Austria, for instance, they have houses where you can go and you can get heroin and clean needles, etc., in a building, and they allow you to do it there, and that's where they allow you to do it. Maybe they need to look at it like that, and maybe not. Well, a health issue rather.
Yeah.
People
But
need it,
maybe-
otherwise they're going to die, or at least help them wean off of it, or give them the options to do it. But
the day government starts dishing out dabs and shrooms, I'm there.
dabs and shrooms.
I bring my cornflakes box. I live there for a weekend.
PlayStation cornflakes.
Yeah, but you're right. It is. I think we all agree it's a health issue, like drug issues and things like that. But then there's the crime related and so on. But you reckon there's a line? I don't know. Hey, maybe it should be fair. Maybe I should be able to buy a dark net mystery box and get it every month delivered to my door.
Random, a bit of heroin and a bit of
and it's an 8 grade
crystal.
this and it's an 8 grade that. It's a weekend pack and it's a spring pack but maybe maybe that's what the future is. Maybe inadvertently we are doing that. We've got to acknowledge that things are going to carry on changing. But you think that's going to hit this level and stay here for 50 more years?
No. Yeah, things do evolve. They're quickly and a lot quicker.
That destroys.
Yeah, we also do, Craig. We hope that we don't get censored. We're really, really hoping that YouTube and any of those people shut us down.
But they may just because we speak the truth.
The truth.
Good in it. Well, you guys have been talking about, you're starting what's it, like a vlog or something? What's it, 2 girls and a bowl?
2 girls, 1 bowl.
2 girls, 1 bowl. Where the jingle.
So give us the pitch.
Coming.
Like, tell the people what
Let
it's
us
about.
know what it's about.
On.
Okay, well, basically, we are starting a 2 girls in 1 bowl. A little play on words there. And it is 2 functioning, successful, relatively successful women. And just to show that we do smoke, we are functioning, and just to kind of break the stigmatism a little bit on that, and to make delicious food. And sometimes special food.
Medicated food.
Yeah, medicated food.
Yeah,
like gourmet dishes and that kind of stuff. Not
healthy as well.
We'll get there.
Cookies were gourmet.
But not like sweets.
Well, our cookies were sweet as well.
Some about the cookies we made.
Yeah. So we filmed our first episode. We haven't edited it yet because we're new to all of this, so we have to learn everything. But it is going to be a YouTube series, and I'm not sure as to the frequency. I'm not going to commit to anything on live camera. People that know me. But yes, we made these cookies. I don't know.
She'll save them for us.
Yeah, we gave these. They are almost vegan. The only reason they're not vegan is because they've got honey in them, and we didn't use maple syrup instead. But otherwise, it's almond flour, so they're healthier. And there's cashew nuts and chocolate. So the chocolate in here...
Taste them.
Yeah, go for it. The chocolate in here is from a company called Africoa. So they are the first company to do this kind of bean to bar chocolate where, the money, there's not this middleman in between. So when you talk about fair trade and sustainable and local, supporting local, so the ingredients in these are very high quality, and they come from an ethical point of view. So I guess sometimes, that's feel-good cookies. That's what we should call them, feel-good cookies.
Coconut oil as well.
Yeah, so the coconut oil we use, we made a mixture with some oil, and it was I think it's a butane extraction, and then mix that with coconut oil, and then we use the coconut oil to bake these with. So we made like half a kg of this oil. So this
So
is
do you know what strength these are?
I could have told you. Maybe I have it on my phone, actually.
Dan's going to find out for us. He might
I'll
launch.
let you know.
I don't know if Dan will launch in time.
Yeah, no,
let's find out.
I would need to... I did all the calculations. It took us a good 2 hours.
It was a very
But I
long
think
process.
it's a great idea because people are going to be not looking just for the cooking show dynamic, but like this thing that Dan's asking, they're going to want to see, how do you make the butter?
Yeah.
Because that's where we begin.
Exactly.
How do you make butter?
And how do you what dosage, and also what do you actually want to get out of the edible, I guess, because these are good. I have one cookie and I go to sleep, and I sleep so well, and I wake up at 5:30 and then I go to gym. And
There you go. Yeah.
But I guess if you wanted something to knock you out or something to, you would have to work out different dosages. But we're going to not just do cookies, we're going to do sort of different stuff each time. So we might leave you guys, we might give you guys some treats for your episode.
Welcome, eh? But
We
it's just
love
going
it.
to be like one of those cooking shows, because I remember cooking shows in the day, it'd be like some Barbara, what was that chick's name? Cooks on Snoop now. But anyway, so it would be a Tanny, and she'd cook, and then she'd have a swig of the cooking wine, and then Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart.
So you're going to be hitting dabs and shit in between, and like hitting the sauce.
Yeah, well, that's the 2 girls in 1 bowl sort of thing. So
yeah, we hit bowls.
Cooking bowl and we smoking bowls.
Nice.
So it's just lots of bowls.
Yeah.
We're going to chicken in. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
guys, when it's out, I think what we'll do is we'll try and make an effort to have the ladies round again then. And we can maybe show some
Live
tips and
on show
that,
cooking.
But it's no pressure,
Whip us
but it
up
would be nice
something.
to see it. It's good because we're starting to see local content.
Yes.
We're
There's
seeing like
none of
Baby
it.
Java now.
Exactly.
We're
It's
seeing
coming
like
out.
Use.
Slowly but surely.
We see Bong along a little bit with the content. We see i420 a little bit with the content and that. But it's nice to see people. It doesn't have to be just cannabis content, but cannabis inspired.
Exactly.
That's exactly kind of exactly
it.
Because we don't want to just. I think a lot of people, especially as the industry is evolving, people that want to jump on board, oh, it must be cannabis, it must be all weed related, like, oh, I should grow, I should do this, I should. It doesn't have to be. You can actually just see, because cannabis, I mean, most of us that smoke, cannabis isn't our entire lives. We do partake, and it is a good part of, or it adds to part of our life, but it's not a whole life, and that's kind of, I guess, what the show will represent, because still it's there, but it's not everything. hence the
or that you can rip a couple of bongs
cooking.
and a couple of bowls and still make food and still do stuff.
Exactly. Yes, and I mean, this is it. We're not, especially being stoners, yes, munchies hit. So I've learned to prepare. If you've got delicious, healthy,
ethical
food, then you don't Uber Eats. Cappuccino and chocolate cake.
Duba Eats.
Duba Eats.
But what I've also started seeing with the edible culture, it's nice we all talk responsible and ethical and all that. But I'm starting to see some guys in the States, there's this thing of guys love to do this thing where they get the most strongest edible you can. And just before they fall asleep, they chow it so that when they wake up, they're still buzzing. They wake up high.
Yeah, I read something
You
online
wake up
about
in a mood.
some dude that bought 1,000 milligram chocolate and was like, cool, I'm going to eat this chocolate. And he ate the chocolate and he started writing this blog about how he was feeling. He's like, yeah, so I chowed this chocolate and I was there. And then goes to the next paragraph like, so I just woke up. It's a bit fuzzy and hazy, but wow, what a lovely rest that was. And this is like fucking 6-7 hours down the line. Knocked him out straight away.
Maybe that is the trick. I'm not a fan of like an edible. I'll be real with you guys. I'm just like a good old sippy joint. But
yeah, but to me the other day I just had a brownie and I was at home and I chowed it and I just sat on the couch. Passed out. And it never does that, but it just happened to do that. Maybe the day was just a lot of whatever and just knocked me out. Woke up a couple hours later like, wow.
Generally does that to me. That's why I eat these cookies, like I said. I mean, who doesn't want a cookie before bed? But and it does. It literally just knocks me out.
But maybe that is the point. Maybe we don't want to take fucked up things to knock us out. We want to maintain some degree of control.
Definitely helps
so
me.
We just need to take the edge off 10%, not 99%, you know?
Exactly.
It's weird. I smoke before I go to bed sometimes and I won't be as knocked out or as in a deep sleep as I was when I tried one of the brownies before I went to sleep. I was very, 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 very in a deep sleep, much deeper than normal.
Edibles always seem to be the most potent, but I think that's what makes them good medicine. But I think when you guys have got that thing going, we'll talk about it and see it more. I really do hope, because I know the idea is the easy bit, but if you guys go the distance...
There's huge scope for it. It really
nice,
is.
We have the first episode filmed, at least. It's actually second, because we did do a test first. That was fun as well. You'll see, it's...
And you still evolve, and people will tell you what they want to see. I hope they do.
Exactly.
That's the point. We will learn as we go.
Cool. Next story of the week. So this is a bit of a local activist skinnery thing. So like in Knysna or somewhere, it's I'm not going to say old person, but old person thing. They had this talk, and these people were punting medical marijuana products. But it was a bit of a CBD thing. So I'm going to give you the tail end first. It ended up in a little quote in like a magazine or a local newspaper, and it goes, hemp cannabis sativa oils are becoming the new in-health supplement in Knysna. Research endocannabinoid system. Please though, while your minds are opening up, don't let your brains fall out. Sales people will say anything to make a sale, including that their cannabis sativa is completely different from cannabis sativa. Okay? Around 1,000 people per day are being arrested for the same plant, and it is still illegal. Those who profit from the plant should also support the activists who are fighting for your rights. MN. So I reckon that was old and blue, because what went down, so they had this talk, and the people there were saying, we got CBD, CBD, CBD. Fuck weed. Weed is bad news. CBD is different. We only do pure CBD, and we're the only people doing it, blah, 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 and we're the best, and we're the first, and we're the greatest. But it was like saying, it's that medical thing that you were seeing in America. I've been predicting this for a while, that it's going to happen locally. That guys who are finding grip in the medical context, even though it's illegal here, are now starting to push back against recreational. They're saying it's bad.
No, because they got the power. They're saying, "Oh, we got the power. This is the right stuff. This is the only stuff that's allowed. Back off."
Oh, you think we want the power, but it's also deep inside they want the market.
Of course.
Mustn't buy their product.
But remember, they slaves to the system if they're in the pharmaceutical side. They're literally being told what to sell at the shop.
But these aren't even pharmaceutical oaks. Let's face it, they're all just basically dealers and selling something they
still the pharma industry rules the fact that you can get CBD and this and that. So they're being told this is when that's the avenue that's being pushed on us. Yet they don't understand the fact of the mixed ratios and what the difference using the THC or the CBD on its own or together, the benefits of it. But yeah, it is kind of...
Yeah, but it's like the oaks were using the CBD stick to beat up Mary Jane. It was like this really fucked up thing. When can we not just really stop and all be real with each other? Call it what you want, whatever. Just be cool. You know?
They're getting the CBD from somewhere else.
Yeah, but whose place is it to say they're the best or the greatest or to vilify anyone at this point? I don't think anyone is referee at this point, but oaks are thinking they're referees in the game. Do you see politics and referees at your level? Because I see politics.
Maybe that's kind of it, is that they see, especially now, that is the quicker and easier route to make money and make profit, because more people will buy into it because of this whole idea that, oh, it's not weed, it's not what your cousin got arrested for smoking, it's this oil that you buy from a pharmaceutical. So that's why they're pushing it, and yes, and that would make sense to push out your competition, which is weed in general.
Which is the friendly neighborhood dealer or whatever, or the guy down at the garage. But it is sad to see it already, though. I wasn't expecting this until after legalization, but it looks like already medical pushback. Do you think it's going to go there for us, Dan? Do you think that when pharmaceutical does get into the game, and if they get there first, they will push back against recreational?
I think they will in the beginning, but I don't think they'll have a chance in hell to win. People have their own free will. I think in South Africa, the kind of people that smoke don't really partake in fighting those kind of fights, I think.
Yeah.
They'll be more interested in, that this is something that we want for what we want. It's not, they won't entertain it, I don't think.
Yeah.
I won't and be like, yeah, well, carry on with your little story on this.
Get the cop out there. Count the cops. I stuck you with the question.
You bastard.
Yeah, no, it's cut to see it, but guys, all I can say is I hope be cool. And if people want to stake their claim as the king, just let them be. They must build their own house of cards, because I think it all comes out in the end. Next story of the week.
Next story.
Yeah, man. So, Dan, you said you had a hard on for this story. Canada's appetite for legal cannabis could be almost as big as it is for wine, CIBC says. So this is like CBC News or whatever. And it turns that the value of the recreational market in Canada is now starting to hit $6.5 billion. So what's that in rand? It's like
trillions.
No, not trillions. No, it's not like trillions. It's probably like 80 billion rand. That's lang zeros. Lang zeros. But they say that the weed market is going to overtake it. So the weed market's overtaking the wine market. So cannabis is worth a bazillion. But it's becoming bigger money, it's becoming bigger business now. Do you think that could happen? Yeah, because we're a legend for fucking wine,
Definitely.
But remember, wine's been around for a long time.
Yeah, but also, your target market of girls or women, drinking wine, I'd say maybe there's a higher, I don't know, but maybe a high percentage of women drink wine. And there's definitely been a bigger trend, I think, in terms of women, as opposed to using wine as a crutch, like Faulty Towers or whatever it is, drinking. Now the kind of avatar that's come out is more a girl who sits and smokes a joint, and that's how she deals with her anxiety and soul crippling depression and whatever. But
you're talking about Mother's Little Helper. That's what it is. Mother's Little Helper. So whether it's a glass of wine, I see it now. Why not chill in? I'm guilty of the same thing. I'll gladly take a bath in a book and a joint. Any day of the week,
Best night ever.
We just need to make bongs that can float in the bath now, so that they won't tip over.
Please, someone. I'll test it out. I'll put my bikini on.
You want those trays that go over the bath, and you can just sit there.
Yeah, but I like a floatable. Don't those
No, I wouldn't bet on it.
Pacemaker, isn't it?
Pacemaker.
No, not the pacemaker. Peacemaker one.
No, those things I wouldn't put that in the bath.
But you know, with like this whole food culture and wine culture, have you guys seen the show Bon Appetit?
Yeah.
That's just haven't you? You need to watch that. That is like the wine drinkers, almost like classy version of creation of cannabis, edibles, foods, wines, all sorts of things. Just watch it, and they do all sorts of crazy things with weed. They did a sushi roll joint or something, but it was like wrapped in all different types of cannabis and this extract and this. But they do some really, really great stuff.
I think the most inventive we got was pizza is coming, maybe some sort of pizza.
We should try to do amazing things. Like, have you seen? Like, if I see it, have you seen where they make sugar balloons?
Oh, they look so but that's
But instead
difficult.
of using a gas thing, we use a vape.
Oh, yes.
So when you pop it, it's.
Those but you need to make those bubbles. You need special baking tools.
No, MasterChef. If you're not watching MasterChef, you don't know what's going on. But like someone like Jenny's saying here, what you could do is you could do like a whole meal, like create this whole dinner experience, and you get in there and your starters are something that's really going to ramp up your THC levels and get you up there.
Yes.
Then you have your mains and your starters and your mains that sort of cruise you along, but then you come to a dessert that has CBD in it that brings you back down to normality. So when you're leaving, you're not completely spaced out, but you've gone through the whole experience level and come out of that.
That could be better than a wine tasting, because by the end of a wine tasting,
you
that restaurant Roots. I'm not sure if you've been there. They do a 6-course meal, but it's like the chef creates a different type of sort of meal every night, so it's never the same. And obviously the portions are quite small, but you pair a glass of wine, a different wine with each meal. But by the end of that, and you've had these 6 glasses of wine, and you done. But I could much rather do that knowing, and eat some good food at the same time.
Well, then let's get down to brass tacks with this.
Makes you think about it.
If you were to go to like, and even you oaks at home, if you were to go to like a 7-course weed meal experience, if there was one thing that you would really want to see there, whether it's that classic babuti with a twist or something, what one weed inspired thing would each of you schmark to check on that fucking menu? Come on, one of those tough, but one decadent.
I want the most ultimate creme brulee, cannabis creme brulee. It has to be Canna brulee. There we go.
No, there's chocolate fondant.
But better, it has to be like MasterChef, like.
Like that, eh?
And you?
Okay.
I said those chocolate fondants where you break it open and like oozes liquid in the middle.
That could be delicious.
Oh, that chocolate like sauce.
Yeah, we always have to wait like half an hour at the restaurant because they have to make it fresh.
Mine would have to be lemon meringue, but something maybe like a lemon lime green. Sour.
So yours?
So mine's not so much a feature. Maybe it's just there on the side. So you know how you make like chocolate and cheese fountains?
Yeah.
But you pump it full of dab.
Yes.
And it's just warm dab fountain.
That's actually just stick your finger in it.
Or you load your dab up.
That would be insane to have a dab fountain of just oil. Golden oil running down it. Decarbed. People will just start licking it, but literally one lick will be sleeping.
Game over.
But do you notice that's all desserts? Do you notice it's all desserts?
Yeah.
Why? Why not start like a main, like a savory?
Well, like I said, we've got we're gonna maybe do pizza on one episode. So your base, but because it's easier, I guess, to cook. So if you need an oil or a fat, but in a certain quantity, I think desserts offer themselves more to that than like a pizza dough or a bread.
But what you could do is you could take some oil and you can perhaps make an extraction with olive oil, like and have that very strong. And then use that to fry your onions in for your stir fry or whatever it is that you're going to do.
And you can put it on your sandwiches and stuff.
Garlic ganja mashed potatoes. That sounds so good. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Just put some nice. I wouldn't even put. You put like dabs on that, and then the oven. Yum. Weed creme brulee. There we go. On the money. That's it. What else we got here?
But the possibilities would be infinite. The possibilities would really be infinite.
Cannabis infused veggie burger. You could make veggie burgers with
not with the leaves.
No, you could take hemp seed, crush it up, and add some dabs.
It looks nice. Then add some dabs.
Veggies to it.
All mixed
I don't know what
together.
veggie burgers.
Yeah, I think it'll just become
vegetables.
an element to the meal. You may not necessarily taste the weed dynamic of any of it. It might just be that it's there as a element, like you say, oil or the butter. It's just as the one dimension.
It does. You don't have to be yeah, exactly, because sometimes the power of it can actually overpower the meal. It really can. Like if you cook any edible with actual green.
Could actually make a salad dressing.
I find that this has a slight taste.
This.
But people sometimes want the taste as well. Otherwise, they don't believe there's anything in it.
Well, it's not like when your friend's brother or sister
or you just
gives
tell them,
you weed cakes and they've got like just taken a bag and got like and you're like
chewing and flicking it up.
I like how you get poppy seeds in your teeth.
We've all had that. We've all at least tried one of those, I'm sure.
All been there. Our last story of the week, I just thought this would be a nice light note to end on. This was in Herb. A man calls cops to report crazy thoughts after smoking weed. And then he sent it to his stash. So the cops they're not sure what to actually make of the situation, but this dude, he got a bit baked. I don't know what degree of thoughts he had. The cops also can't understand what degree of thoughts he had, but he decided to call the cops for help. And he literally said, "Hi cops, listen here, this is me. I'm here. I'm tripping malls. SOS.
I need help. Like, do your job, please."
Trace this call. And they rocked up, and he let them in, and he showed him his stash, and he was like, "Thank you." But the cops seem more baffled than the oak. But
did they arrest him?
I'll check if they arrested him.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of
have you ever felt that desperate? I've been down some deepish holes, and I've never felt like calling the cops. Because if you've got the functions to hit 911, you're still too functional.
Yeah. I read the story of these two dudes that were in a van that crossed a border in America that had a van full of weed, and they crossed the border to the other side, and they were stopped off at a garage to get chow. And when they got back in the car, these guys are grilled, obviously, and they see a cop car parked on that side, and they see a cop car on that side, and all of a sudden they start playing this huge story in their head. And they're like, no ways. These cops are after, they're going to come and get us. They're going to kill us. They're going to take us out. So what do? Is they phone 911 and they say, "Hi, listen, we're sitting here and we can see these cop cars all around us." And the lady's like, "Sorry, what do you mean?" And they're literally saying, well, we're in this car. We're really sorry. We come and arrest us. We're so sorry. We don't want to be taken out. We'll come out peacefully. And they had no idea that these guys didn't even know that they were in the other country. In the meantime, they got arrested.
Oh my God. So they turned themselves in.
Literally. Because of paranoia.
But I read the rest of the story quick. So I think these cops deserve high fives all around. So the cops said, "Listen here, Richard. We're going to write you a little ticket here. Not a big deal." They said, "Come." And they drove him to the hospital. And not in the back of the buggy with the spare tire over speed bumps. So they drove him downstairs, they took him, and I think he's been charged, but it's not a big deal. But they helped him out. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, they actually
That's
did
great.
do what he
Wouldn't it be
needed.
great to know for
That's
us
really
or
good.
for our kids? You want to speak about kids, Oaks? Wouldn't it be great to know that if your kids were in a situation, they could call someone who would come help them? Isn't that
I would
prize?
hope someone would do that. I mean, I never got help when I was a kid walking the streets. Cops would drive past and be like, whatever. Stop and search you and be like, "Cool, I'm going." And just drive off. It's like, "Oh, come on, please. I've got like 3Ks, 4Ks to walk." They're like, "Yeah, whatever, white boy."
But have you guys ever had like an edible or anything else experience where you feel like you've had to call someone for help? Not cops necessarily, but you're like, "Shit, someone needs to come hold my hand right now."
Use the food,
or
sorry.
my hair.
I was going to say maybe some greenies and some with hair.
We just can't. There's so many people that are giving us extra things on food here. We've just got to go through this list. We got
Go through the list.
marijuana chili con. We got, you can use some terpenes to flavor the food, like adding lemon terpenes to lemon meringue.
Yes, I like
that would be like some
that is
serious
a good idea.
sense overload, like absolute overload. Butter chicken with canna butter. That's a good one. Yes, that would be really good actually.
Yeah, the oaks.
Get uber grilled.
I think this is going to have to turn into like
Ganja
a
chili.
dinner show.
Yeah, ganja chili
Dinner
pesto
date.
pasta.
Ooh, pesto.
Oh, pesto. Oh,
Smoothie and
pesto.
creamy cocoa pot ice cream.
Oh no!
Damn, that's crazy. Now
we want to save them street there and we went back to dessert, but I'll eat that. I'll eat all of that together.
But if you did that, like if you were using vanilla essence, you could make a vanilla essence tincture, so which wouldn't necessarily need to be psychoactive, and I assume you'd still be able to get some benefit from it. You just use a vanilla pod and weed in the same.
Yeah, man, and you do clever things with presentation, like deep fried leaves as well, just for that.
There's someone doing that actually. There's someone that's
like kale?
taking cannabis leaves, dipping them in a batter of some kind, and then deep frying them, and it's a thing.
I was gonna say you can make
They're
like
eating. I wanted when I saw that I thought, jeez, I gotta try this. I don't know if you can. Like,
I can eat kale. I don't mind kale, but a cannabis
I
leaf
cannot
tastes
even eat
cut,
kale.
eh? Ooh, it's a very green thing to eat.
Yeah.
It's like eating caterpillars.
It's
Grasshoppers, it's terrible.
But if it's deep fried, anything deep fried is good. Just admit it. Anything put in deep fry is good. Just and it's crunchy, like a crunchy. That would be
You
great.
won't even taste the leaf.
I think we should try for the next
tasting it
podcast to
back,
do
though.
that.
Get out the deep fryer.
Deep
Just
fried,
do it.
yeah.
Do it tempura batter, simple.
like a
We'll have a whole
fondue.
plate of deep fried leaves.
No, I think we leave it to these chicks to do it, and we support them because if you guys do
I think
it,
we're
then
gonna
we'll
have
support
to
you.
add
A whole.
this all to our recipe book
Yeah.
now. We've
Okay,
got ideas.
we'll
Thanks,
prototype
guys.
it, and you can, if it works, you'll just
Cool.
Coming soon.
Guys, we're getting to the end of the show. Thank you. It's been wonderful. So what's it? 2 girls and 1 bowl.
2 girls, 1 bowl.
Cool. When you guys put it out, please let us
Yes,
know.
of course.
Dan,
Jeez.
any shout outs, anything you think we should be keeping an eye on? It's been pretty quiet news wise. I think we're all just holding our breath for the Constitutional Court
It's winter.
verdict. We don't know when, guys. We're all just holding our breath. We'll maybe know a day or 2 before, but we're all waiting to exhale on that.
If you're growing your plants are probably into winter, it's time to harvest. Watch them closely. You don't want to let mold set in.
Yeah. You should be drying.
You should
drying
be
and curing already a lot of your bud.
Or if you're doing a perpetual run, you should be making your tunnels ready for light and warmth and fertilizer and
Yeah, and I rate if oaks are going to do winter grows indicas. I wouldn't put a sativa.
yeah, of course.
out.
You want to keep it in a tunnel. You want to be able to control the light and the heat and everything. So it's a lot easier to grow an indica. Yeah. Don't do sativa in a small little polytunnel unless you've got nice big rooms and.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
And Robyn, any gigs?
I'm doing some hula hooping on stage this Saturday at the Tequila Party in Centurion with Dion Bacchus and the Stolen Horses. And then end of the month, there's also 2, there's Strad and Park Acoustics. And music gigs, I don't know actually.
Well, Instagram. Can we follow you guys on Instagram or anything like that? Where do we check this out?
Probably best to go on my channel at the moment because we don't have one for 2 girls, 1 bowl. So you can just go to Indigo Girl. Instagram, it's at Indigo Girl Music. Facebook, it's also Indigo Girl Music. If you see someone with hula hoops or guitars or ukuleles or lights, that's the one. There's a story of me and Amy and I on my Instagram at the moment from today. So you'll be able to recognize us. Yes.
Cool.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much for joining us, guys. Please like, subscribe, share, stay lit, eh?
Keep a bottle of CBD spray handy just in case you're overdosing on THC. Peace.
An emergency kit in your fanny pack.
It actually makes sense. Like Jules had the one day when they were at the court case. Penny, she had a bit too much weed and they gave her a drop of CBD and she came right, eh?
Oh, dude.
It really is.
Really
at 420,
does.
they were like, at the one stand, they're like, yeah, have some CBD. I'm like, what? Sorry, what? I want to get high today. What are you talking about?
I want to come down.
I'm supposed to be, dude.